Hi class, as promised, this is your broadloom carpet takeoff sample question. I came up with a question similar to the one that you have an assignment for, and it's just provide broadloom carpet for a room that's 30 feet 6 by 42 foot 6, and then there is a carpet repeat that is 36 inches. I'm going to go off of that document, that calculation guide sheet that I posted on Moodle, and mostly try and stay within that. Mostly stay within that. So if we're going along with the broadloom carpet calculations, number 1 says draw a diagram of the room and take the room dimensions. So what we would do here, so I'm not moving this too much, would be to draw our room. So I'll just draw a little rectangle here to kind of help us visualize what's actually going on in this space. Alright, so I'm going to label everything in feet just to make it more simple. So that would be 30.5 feet by 42.5 feet. So that would be part 1 of the assignment, or of the calculation guide sheet. Part 2 is to determine the carpet direction in the room. And to do that, and to figure out the best way to do that, I'm going to make a couple sketches, and that will help us answer a couple other questions. So we have two options. We can either have the carpet running this way, or we can have the carpet running this way. Now, if we have the carpet running this way, that would look like, if this is our room, we would have 1 whole roll, 2 whole rolls, and a balance. And so I did that by dividing this 30.5 by 12, because remember, 12-foot roll widths. And so if you saw Elmo over here, Elmo is our carpet installer, and here he is holding a roll of carpet. Okay, so it literally looks just like this. Elmo is a kid's toy that was the most to scale. So you can see it's quite a bit longer than Elmo himself. And when we're visualizing this, this is 12 feet, and we're trying to figure out, this is the carpet that's going to be laid. And so I kind of just have this as a visual. So in this case here, we are saying that we're going to have multiple 12-foot rolls going this way within the space. And dividing this 30.5 by 12, we end up with 2 full rolls and then a half a roll there. If we did it the other way, same size room, we would end up with 3.5 full rolls. So that would be 1 roll, 2 roll, 3 roll, and then this is a half. So 1, 2, 3 and a half full rolls. And that would be taking this 42.5 and dividing that by 12. And that's what we end up with. So we know that we're going to get less waste by doing it this way, right? Because both of these are half, about half a width. And here we would have to buy 42.5 feet of that extra width. In this case, we would only have to buy 30.5 feet of width. So this is the one that we're going to want to go with. So we're going to say that our carpet width is running in this direction. So that's going to tell you what number 2 of the broadloom calculations are. So, and then for number 3, we've just determined that we're going this way, so our width of carpet is 42.5 feet. That's the overall width of the room. So that's number 3, pretty easy when we did it this way. Now, number 4 would be determine if the fill is necessary. And since we did all this backlog here, we do know that the fill is necessary. We took this, we know the fill is only unnecessary if you have a room that is less than the width of your carpet. So that would be less than 12 feet, or I suppose if you, yeah, technically that's just if one of the sizes of the room is less than the width of the carpet, which is not the case. So yes, a fill is necessary. And now we will determine the width of the balance. And so to do that, we are going to take the 42.5 feet and then subtract the width of the rolls here, which is 12 feet rolls times 3, because we have 1, 2, 3 full widths of the rolls here. So that turns into 42.5. 12 times 3 is 36. So when we subtract that, we get 6.5 feet. And so that is this right here. This is 6.5 feet. That's the width of our partial roll. And that is number 5. So personally, I think that how they say to get that number 5 is kind of complicated, and what they didn't take into account is this right here, that the width, there might be more than one full width of the room happening there. But that's how I would do step 5, which is determining the fill width, or width of partial roll. That's the same thing. Okay, so number 6 would be determine the length of the first cut. So this is just the length of the room. So now remember, length of the room is this 30.5. And so what we're doing is now we're looking again at Elmo's carpet roll. And then we are determining, we know he has a 12-foot roll. Now, on our span to determine how many feet of this will actually need to carpet the room, we're looking for cut 1. Okay, so that's essentially this length right here. And so that's pretty simple, right? 30.5, just the width of the room. And so we measure that out. And so that's the first part of number 6, which is just 30.5 feet. Equals first cut. Okay, so now what we have to do is to figure out where our second and third cut are going to be along these lines. It gets a little bit more complicated, and that's only because there's a repeat in this carpet. So what I mean by that is, if we look back here, we're saying our carpet repeat is 36. So what we're going to do is, so take this length and divide this length by the repeat to figure out how many repeats are in one length of carpet. Okay, so that would be 30.5 divided by 3 feet, which equals 10.166. We are rounding up because a repeat can't be a decimal of a number. We only talk in full. So that's 11 repeats. And so what that means is, here we have 3 full rolls and a half of a roll. So we have 11 repeats here. So we might have a thing going on here where here this is the repeat, and then there's 11 of these. So this pattern is repeating 11 times. Now we want to make sure that when we line this carpet up, this pattern continues, so that it goes and does its thing so that the seam is as hidden as possible. So we started at the beginning right here. Well, in order to get this to line up perfectly, this roll and this roll needs to be a little bit longer. So that's what we're trying to determine, is how much longer does it need to be. We know we're going to have 11 repeats here. So what we would do is we would just say, we know we have 11 repeats on one, and our repeat is 36 inches, 3 feet. So 11 times 3 equals 33. And we are calling this our adjusted length. And so that 33 feet is 2.5 feet longer than this length. And so that is where we are making, on our carpet, where we would make cuts 2 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to measure out here. Cut 2 is 33 feet. So here's cut 2, and then do the same thing, another 33 feet for cut 3. And we know, remember when we sketch this out, we know we need 3 full rolls, and then we're getting to our half roll. So that's our adjusted length, is 33 feet. Moving on to 7, so now we are determining the fill length. Okay, so that's this piece right here. So what we are doing here, take the length of the room, divide the total from step 5. See where we are. This is our partial roll here. So this is step 7. So we're saying 33 feet divided by 6.5 feet equals 5.076. And that is our fill length. And so we are measuring that out on roll 4. Okay, as cut 4. Okay, so that's just another 5.5 feet is what we need there. Oh, so I just rounded that up to 5.5 feet is what I did there.